Hey, 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 everyone. How's everyone doing today? Um, Happy Valentine's Day to y'all who celebrate Valentine's Day. Um, we don't. We don't celebrate Valentine's Day, and I'm gonna do a poll later. Poll later. I'm curious who is like us and doesn't like celebrate Valentine's Day because really it has nothing to do with love. Maybe if you just started dating or something, it's a cute holiday, but really it's just money making holidays. My husband knows not to buy me anything on Valentine's Day. We go the next day when all these flowers and chocolate and everything is 50% off. You know? So yeah, that's how we do it. Today I thought I'm going to share a little bit about the story, how why I got medically retired from the military, because a lot of people keep asking me, and I go over it, what it has led me to, and what issues I had. It's going to be a little bit longer video, but you can always watch it on replay. But let me know if you watch it on replay or if you watch it live. Let me know where you're coming on from, and if you stay to the end, I will be giving away a gift. So not sure how I'm going to do the selection. I'm probably just going to scroll and have my husband point at a name or something like that. But yeah, if you stay to the end or you watch the replay and watch the end, continue to put down, just say me, and I will put you in that. And of course, now which dog is outside? Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. That's actually one of the things people say. Do not get distracted during your life, and yeah, apparently that didn't work today. But yeah, so um, I was in the military. And it was my dream job. I absolutely loved it. I forgot my mirror, and I would still be doing it if it wouldn't been for a person who apparently has no regards for other people. So I was stationed in Kentucky in 2011, and I was actually on my way home from PT. So PT means physical exercise. So every morning we have to get together um, and do PT. Um, I was in a basic training unit as an admin, and so we did PT at, I believe it was 5:30 every morning. So we were doing PT at the same time as our privates were. And oh man, my skin is so messed up. I have so many nervous ticks right now that I'm just scratching myself all crap. Um, but yeah, so I was on my way home from PT to go and change into my day uniform, take the kids to school, take a shower, and go back to work. And I had just coming off leave from California. I just had my son 8 months before, so we went to California to visit my mother-in-law. And I had just come back. My husband just came back because he had to drive one of our cars back. And I got to a stop sign. Now it was pitch black dark. I think it was around 6 o'clock. And so it was dark. I was stuck at the light, and it was a hill. And on the right side was a recycling company. And apparently, what had happened is the truck driver who picked up a trailer with recycled metal and stuff like that pulled out, and it was 2 lane here and 2 lanes on the other side, and there was a medium in the middle. And apparently, he did not know what he was doing. I'm going to get into the whole why he shouldn't have a license to begin with, and how we got screwed out of pretty much all of our lawsuits. So he pulled out, and I guess he didn't do the turn right to go that way, and he got stuck in the medium. A couple of mistakes that guy really did, which screwed me. There was no way for me to see him. So I had a green light. I started out. I had a 5-speed Kia Rio. If you ever seen them, there it was a really nice car. It had really great gas mileage. But yeah, so I started out driving, and I went up, and I didn't see him. There was no way for me to see him. It's even in the police report, because what that guy failed to do is inspect his trailer. So he just hooked the damn thing up, didn't know what he was doing, and pulled out onto the road. The side markers that are a legal requirement actually had hit the reflectors. I can't remember, and I have a video. I have a picture on my phone. I'll show you all at the end. But the reflector, like they weren't really working. I mean, you couldn't see a damn thing. Okay, I didn't see a damn thing when I pulled up to that guy. And the minute I saw him was literally, I think he was right here. I'm not right. I don't have all the memories of the accident. There's bits and pieces I'm missing, but I know that I was going up, and the minute I saw him, I thought, shit, there goes my head, because all I could see is the trailer and my car right in front of it, and I can remember the noise of the crushing metal. Like I said, I'll show you all the picture at the end. And pretty much went down a. I'm doing a video. I'm on a video. So anyhow, so there was no way for me to see him. I went right under the trailer, and apparently they say I swerved a little bit to the left, and that's the only reason it did not kill me. Hold on, I'm on making a video. I'm making a video. Um, so there was no way for me to see him. I went right under, and literally, some people say they see the light flashing before their eyes and crap. I did not see any of that. The only thing I saw was shit, there goes my head, and that was the end of it. Now, I do remember being outside my car, and I remember a specialist being there, stopping and seeing if I was okay. So I remember that. What else do I remember? I remember, so in the military, what you get trained is stay alert, stay alive. Okay, so I was doing my best to, from every time I was awake or aware of what happened, to stay awake, work. So, and then, of course, first responders started showing up eventually, and I don't know how long it took, but they came, and I remember them asking, "Ma'am, where's the driver?" And I was like, "I am the driver." And they were like, "Ma'am, there's no way. There's no way you would have survived this. Are you sure you were the only passenger?" Because at that point they thought there was maybe a passenger, and that passenger didn't survive. The driver definitely shouldn't have survived. And I was like, "No, I'm the driver. I'm the only one. I just came from Fort Knox from work. I'm the only one." And they were like dumbfounded. They're like, "Ma'am, I don't know how you made it out. I don't know how you survived this, but are you sure you're the only person?" I'm like, "Yes." And so they loaded me up in the ambulance and everything. And again, it bit me in the ass that we get trained to stay alert, stay alive. Because so they drove me to the ER. With Hardin County in Kentucky really doesn't have a really good caring hospital. We're not talking like, COVID times. We're talking about 2011. And so they hooked me up on morphine. And I probably should have showed you all some of the scars. Let me see. So I have scars here, you can see, and I got scars on my eyebrows where, because none of my airbags deployed. Okay, so now I had 15 airbags in that damn car, and none of them deployed. Not the side, not the front, not the steering wheel. So what they assumed, because of where my windshield was and my face was, I kind of went forward. The windshield caved in because I went underneath the semi truck. So the windshield kind of embedded itself in my face. And from there, that's why I have all these scars. I have some on my hand. and stuff like that. So it was a hot mess. So I was there, and I really didn't feel anything, honestly. But they put me on morphine because they weren't sure if I had any internal damage or what it was. And my my husband was actually on his way to the university. He did voc rehab, so which means he went for he was a veteran. He's a veteran as well, so he went back to school to learn a different job. And I guess they called him. Actually, they say I gave the driver my phone and told him to call my husband because I had the kids at home, so somebody needed to like my kids now, So I had to call my first show, and those are all the things that came in my mind at that point in time, just trying to keep my brain going. I was so tired. I just wanted to sit there and go to sleep. And I know when I go to sleep, it was just not something you're supposed to do. Man, my face looks so bad, but I love this makeup. It covers it up nicely. So yeah, so they brought me and put me on morphine. They fixed up my face. They checked me out, and my daughter's boyfriend brought her to the hospital. They took John to school. Didn't tell him really what happened. He was too little. He was 8 or 9 at that time, and then Corey, of course, was a baby. So that wasn't really a thing. And after 6 hours, the shit show started. So they released me from the hospital because they didn't find anything. I don't remember if they did a head CT or anything. I think they just went off, oh, she's fine, she's talking, she's a little bit slow, but we're just going to send her home. And on Monday, go, because it happened on a Friday, go see your regular medical doctor that you see in the military. So I wanted to see my car. So my husband took me actually to see my car. And he was like, oh my God, like, you got out of this. And I wasn't really walking. I was like more like just waddling around. And then I went home. He took me home, and I really couldn't walk. My arms, everything just felt so heavy that I couldn't function. So he had to really do a lot for me. And that's when his journey as a caregiver started. Come Monday, I'm supposed to go back to school, to work, and I can't function. Like, I can't remember anything. I can't recognize people. I can't really walk. So he literally had to like slowly walk me up to sick call at 6 o'clock in the morning. I went to sick call. They gave me 3 days of quarters. Said, you know what? We're going to give you another 3 days. Stay home and then go back to work. Thursday came. I still couldn't function. I started to really have a lot of problems with my speech and everything else. I don't really have a memory of that week too much. So something probably my husband would have to answer. But I went back to the doctor. He said, look, she can't function. She can't go back to work. So they gave me another 3 days. And then I was like, you know what, screw it. My husband said, take leave. I had a lot of leave days because I never liked to take leave. I let all my soldiers always take leave. And so I was like, he said, just take some leave. We just came off leave. You have plenty of leave. Let's just go take some leave. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to take some leave. So I took some leave. I think it was a week or two. And I went back to work. I was feeling better, but we started noticing that I couldn't, the easiest thing, like the word for this, this is lotion. I couldn't think of it. I went with my daughters to an orientation at the college, and I remember me walking in there, and I had to walk out to go to the bathroom, and I came back in, and I was staring in this room looking like an idiot because I could not make my daughter's face out in a crowd. I had no idea how she looked. So I was standing there, and I was like, oh, fuck, I can't just sit down somewhere. And she finally caught on to it, and she's like, hey, I'm right here. What are you doing? Kind of, feeling like an idiot. And I started to have problems at work. I would forget to do tasks. I had problems remembering really a lot. I still couldn't really move. I kind of like blackouts. I don't remember anything and stuff like that. And kept going back on sick to the doctor. Like, look, something is wrong. I'm not right. I'm not feeling the same. I can't remember what the word plate is. I was dropping dishes left and right. I mean, I think we went to a whole dish set in cups because, and this problem I still have today, and I get into that why. Um, I was dropping everything. So my luck was, I think during the summer break, I went back. I had another issue, so I went back to see my doctor. And thanks to God, the idiot I seen, medical doctor's not the best. He was like, "Okay, tell me a little bit about stuff. I see you keep coming back here. What is the problem? What happened?" And I kind of told him the stuff, and he was like, "You know what? It sounds to me that you have some neurological issues." And I'm like, "Neurological? What?" He asked me, "Did I do a CT?" And I couldn't remember. I still don't remember if I had one or not. And I was like, "I don't know." So he said, "You know what? We're going to do an MRI. I'm going to refer you to some people. It sounds to me that you have a traumatic brain injury." And I was like, "A traumatic brain injury? What the hell is a traumatic brain injury?" And so he didn't go, I don't think he went into the full spectrum. Like I said, there are a lot of things I can't remember. And so I started getting referred off pills to other providers, which already, again, took a while. And by the time I saw a neurologist and I had an MRI and everything, I think it was 6, 7 months down the road. And he was like, I say you have a traumatic brain injury. And honestly, he said at this point, because they didn't catch it in time, more likely it's going to be irreversible. And at that point, I was at the point where I had stickies all over my house, like take your keys, plates, cups. I left stuff on. I melted my husband's cell phone to the stove because I took something off. I assume I knew the stove was hot, but I put his cell phone on there for some reason. Just a lot of fun things you do when you start having brain injuries. And so I just went on, and I saw a neurologist, and he said, "You know what? It's been so long. They screwed you over when they misdiagnosed you and just sent you home, and nobody followed up. You have a brain injury." And so I had to go see a brain injury specialist and all that stuff, and it taught us a lot of things. So a lot of things that I experienced were typical for having a brain injury, which I didn't know nothing about. So so I had to do cognitive testing and a whole bunch of testing where they do your memory testing, they do your visual testing, everything. I started to have a lot of problems with my eyes. I always wore glasses and stuff like that, but apparently, it wasn't as bad. I was in the military, so my eyes weren't as bad as they are now. And I remember, like, it was just hell. I couldn't hold my child because I was always afraid I'm going to drop him. And so that just went on. And my unit actually deactivated the whole basic training unit. They moved everything to Fort Benning. So I got promoted. I had to make cut up 4 points to E6. So I was an E5, a non-commissioned officer. And I was like, it was hell. I had to write literally a list. Brush your teeth. Get dressed. My husband has to check my clothes still to this day because I will turn it inside out. I will wear it backwards sometimes, or just wear some funky stuff, really. So there was a lot of issues that came with that. So what back in the day, and I don't know why they ever went away with them. It was called a WTU, Warrior Transition Unit. You probably heard about it. It's really very common. It was very popular. It was great, but I was there for 2 years, y'all. From one appointment to another. Um, it was just weird. It was just, hell. I think I didn't do that right. I'm gonna have to fix this here in a second. It's really hard for me to do multitasking, but I thought I had to put on my makeup and try not to scratch. So we went there and I did all that stuff, and it just didn't get better. I had to see a lot of occupational therapy, rehabilitation therapy, and nothing went better. And I didn't want to leave the military. Honestly, I really fought it. And after 2 years, they were like, "Look, you can't function. You have to have your husband." And at that point, my husband had to drop out of school, and he was actually with me because I lost my ability to drive. Like small car, it freaked me out. If just a freeway freaked me out. The roads freaked me out. Everything freaked me out. So my husband actually, that's when his caregiver duty started. Was back then because at 5 o'clock in the morning, he had to drive me to work, and then he had to pick me up. And when I was in the WTU, he had to drive me, and he would go to the gym for a few hours. I would do my doctor's appointments. He would go to the doctor's appointments with me, and then they said, "Look, we're gonna have to medically retire you. You can't, no, you can't be in a military anymore. There is nothing we can do for you. Okay, it is what it is. You have to leave the military." And I fought it. I didn't want to leave the military. I'm like, just give me some more time. They're like, we gave it 2 years. At this point, you just can't function. And there's a lot of things that I did back then. I still do today. Like I still leave the stove on. So when I cook, somebody has to be physically here because I will either turn around and just grab something and totally forget I'm cooking and walk away. I leave the stove on. I leave stuff in weird places. Like I leave stuff in the freezer, it goes in the pantry. We don't have any porcelain dishes anymore. We went to plastic. We got some really cute ones, but we had to transition everything to what's not breakable. Now I still got coffee cups. I left my coffee in the kitchen, but everything I have is now non-breakable because it kind of sometimes funny. Sometimes it's just really aggravating. Like today is one of those days where I keep dropping stuff. Like I dropped everything this morning, and you just get pissed and aggravated, and because I'm like, okay, man, we're gonna hold this, and my hand is like, oh, you said let go, we're gonna let go, and it just goes everywhere. So then I get frustrated. I still have problems remembering names. I used to have a great memory. I mean, I remembered everything. I didn't need no planner or some of that crap. But nowadays, I cannot remember anything. So everything has to be in my phone. I have to have a detailed list of what I got to do. And I was just so I'm still. It's just and the stuff. The shit keeps coming, rolling downhill. So what happened? I got medically retired. I got 100% VA because I actually almost made a record. I got medically retired on 42 medical issues. So my PTSD and depression and stuff like that, I already had a little bit from deployment and other things going on. But when I got medically retired, I take your whole medical records, and I had 42 issues. Now, those big totes you can find at Walmart all the time? They're like, 55 gallons? I have 3 bins full of medical records because when you're medically retired, they give you whole records. And I have 3 totes full, like this big, just nothing but my medical records. So here I was, home, with a child I can't care for by myself, kids I can't care for by myself, and I can't work. We got a lawyer, of course, after the shit show with the trucking company, and it came out the guy who had the CDL should never had a CDL because he actually had fraud, check fraud, and I guess the CDL in Kentucky, at least it was at that point, as far as I understand, if you have any felony or anything like that, you cannot hold a CDL license. And the guy should have never had a CDL. And that's the only reason why we got awarded some money from the trucking company because they didn't vet their drivers. And again, another reason we only get money from them is because during the deposition, that deposition was hell. Oh my God, the shit they put you to as a victim is ridiculous. They treated me like shit, like I did this on purpose and stuff like that. And I'm not a person taking well to that. And I got really irritated a lot in that meeting. We had to take a lot of breaks. And so the guy, when they interviewed him for his deposition, said, no, I never had a felony. I never had anything. I never had a ticket, blah, blah, blah. And it was false. I guess he didn't think he would have been caught, but it was false. And so they said, you know what? You're lying. We're going to award this person such amount of numbers, which, of course, my lawyer got 60% of. So we're not even going to talk about that. Kia, again, 15 airbags. Kia. Like I said, I'll show you all the pictures in a little bit. Oh, your airbags didn't deploy because they didn't hit in the right spot. And I'm like, my lawyer and I were like, what do you mean? And honestly, I think I had a crappy lawyer. I should have gotten a different lawyer, but we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what happens, you know. So Kia got a lawsuit because it didn't hit in the right sensor spot on the bumper, but the whole front end of the car was gone. The bumper was on the ground. I think if a bumper falls off, it kind of should trigger, hey, something happened, airbag deploy. Nothing. So we lost out on that lawsuit. And then we tried to sue the recycling company, and they got fined, I think, by OSHA. And we didn't get a damn dime because, like I said, I have a crappy lawyer, I think. There was something to the effect like it was up to the driver that he should have checked his trailer before he loaded it and took it off the lot. But it was their trailer that wasn't up to code, which shouldn't have been registered to begin with. But again, they got a lot, so we got screwed. So now I'm at a point where I can only drive in big cars. I drive in little cars when I absolutely have to, and I hate it. It's given me so much anxiety. It's not even funny. So big cars. We bought a Chevy Suburban, 2014 Chevy Suburban, biggest piece of shit I ever seen as a Chevy. That car is just falling apart. We bought a brand new off the lot. But that's the reason why we have the Chevy, because the small cars, my anxiety is so high. I still really don't drive. It took me, so we moved here 7 years after because I was on a crisis plan constantly. I was constantly under suicide watch because I was just so depressed. And I just couldn't get it together. And we had really no roots in Kentucky besides me being stationed there. So my counselor actually said, look, why have you guys considered moving somewhere fresh where you're not reminded of your accident, where you're not reminded of all losing your job, your career, your health and everything. So we considered it. Long story short, we moved to Alabama 8 years ago. It took me, I think, 2 years before I drove with him just here to city. I still don't drive unless I absolutely, like to say, my husband's gone to an appointment because he's really sick and I have to drive him. Then I will drive outside the city limits. But my heart rate is up that my my watch keeps saying workout complete. Workout complete. And I'm like, I'm not working out. I'm just driving, okay? I'm freaking out. So it's really hard to. Hey, thank you for hopping on. Again, I have a giveaway at the end, so y'all stay and let me know, answer the question, and I will show you all the pictures of the accident. But so yeah, then I absolutely drive. I get a workout out of it. Even within Troy, sometimes depends on the day. Like today, I haven't driven in 2-3 days, so I'm like really intense driving and just freaking out. But I force myself to drive because first, it's the only independent I got left. My husband is a constant caregiver for me here. So we moved to Alabama. We're here, and I was going crazy. And I started with a company called It Works, and bless my husband, he never said a damn thing, but it cost me so much money every month. And it was really just to keep my brain going and moving. And eventually, I cut ties with that. And what I developed after my accident was really to the point where the only thing I could do is either I could wash with soap or I could wash without soap. If I was washing with soap, I would start itching, scratching, That's why I have a lot of scars here, because I would scratch. It was so itchy, and nothing takes that itch away, and it's driving me crazy. Um, so I did some research, and I looked around, and I had a lot of questions, and I found my the company, the product I'm using right now. And I hadn't that worn makeup in a long time. I didn't have really anything besides deodorant that I was able to use. And I fell in love with the product. That the first time they came, I think I cried, because I just ordered a little bit of makeup, ordered a foundation, um, an eyeliner, face wash, and face cream, and a lotion. And the company was brand new to the US. It's a European company. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not itching. I'm not scratching. I'm not bleeding. I can actually wash my face. I can actually take a shower and not itch and break out. No, I wasn't breaking out, but it was just like, oh, so agonizing. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is awesome. And I was still in the hole because I had nothing to do. If you home, retirement sucks, honestly. You know, we all read for retirement, but retirement sucks. Because all I did was out here. I can't really work a lot outside because my back, like right now, it's cool. My back will spasm, or I have days like today where I drop everything. It's just not worth it. And so we were doing that, and so I was going crazy. So I was just surfing Facebook all day and doing other stuff. And I was like, you know what? I have all these questions. I have all these problems. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a blog. I came across them saying, hey, blah blah blah, blogs are good, blah blah blah. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a blog because I have a lot of damn questions, and I have some answers, and I'm just gonna put it out there. And it went from like a one-page blog, honestly, to a big blog where I cover different things, because I I was always learning. Before my accident, y'all, I was still in school. I got a high school diploma from Germany. I graduated German school in Germany. You go to work and to school for 3 years to get a diploma. Um, so I learned HR, and I came to the US, and I'm like, you know what? I met my husband in Germany. We came to the US, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do my high school diploma. So I went, got my high school diploma. It took me a few years because I have to learn all these words and everything. And then I went to college, and I would have had my bachelor's by now, but I can't go to school anymore. Like, I read a book, I read 2 pages, I put it down for a second, I can't remember what the first page is, so I kind of got to glance back and then go to page 3. So a lot of stuff I do, excuse me, a lot of stuff I do now is audiobooks and videos, because reading isn't, I just can't do it. And so I had to quit going to college. I had to quit my education, which I was just really going to everything that interests me. I just was taking classes because I love to learn. So I started this blog, and I was like, you know what? That kind of interests me. I'm going to blog about that. So I have like different sections on my blog now. And that's how I came starting the blog, because I was just going crazy. I was about to go and lose my mind. Okay. So started my blog, and that's where I share my products. If you have any questions about what I'm putting on my face, I'm at no means no makeup guru, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to learn more and more things. Um, but yeah, so I started talking about stuff you can work from home, because if you like me, you have kids. We have a special needs kid. My 12-year-old turned out to be high function autistic. So it's all things you got to learn and do. And I was like, you know what? There's probably other parents out there who are looking for things to do that, they're like going crazy, just being home all day and things like that. I'm trying to find a good color. It's Valentine's Day, even though I don't celebrate it. I'm trying to be a little bit brighter today, which I like bright colors anyways. But I had some stuff, and I can't recall it. And so yeah, that's how I came across starting my blog, how I came across starting working with pharmacy. To this day, still really the only thing I can do. I found another company from Europe where they have a few products that pharmacy still doesn't have because pharmacy is still pretty new in the US. They've been around for 75 years in Europe. So they're a big business in Europe. And I was stationed there. I grew up in Germany. So I know that, like, the reason I think I don't break out is because these products right here have over 1,300 fewer chemicals. Um, so, and I learned that when I was trying to bring some food to Germany for my family when my dad passed away, and I had to go get my mom. And Mountain Dew is banned in Europe. Lucky Charms is banned in Europe. There's a lot of things that are banned in Germany or in Europe in general that I didn't know they were banned there because of what's in our products. And that's probably that the dermatologist said that's probably why I break out so much. So these products don't have all that junk in them, and that's why I don't break out anymore. And y'all imagine not being able just to put suntan lotion on or face lotion or just washing your hands and putting lotion on it without your hands swelling up, getting puffy or itching and irritated. Imagine getting through that for like 10 years. I would sometimes I'm still struggling with my mental health a lot. But it was bad. It was really bad. I keep going through holes, and so my husband got appointed my full-time caregiver. He stuck with me. He works for me. I don't think he likes the job all the time. But so yeah, that's how I came to having to leave the military. I'm trying to look up these photos so I can show you all one photo. And that's how I came, starting this blog and leaving the best job that I ever had, that I love. So I'm trying to get at this. Let me turn off this light for a second. So y'all see, that's a trailer. That's with high def cameras, and you can't see none of the reflectors. You see the car. There's nothing really left of the car. And so yeah, that's that part of the story. I have so many stories in my life because my life is sometimes complicated, sometimes like everybody, it's just you having the off time, you're having a bad time. Like I lost both of my parents within the last year in 2 months. So that was really hard. I'm struggling with that. But that's all stories for another day. But I wanted to come on here and I'll just share with you all about that part of my journey, why I did what I do. And yeah, I appreciate it. If y'all wonder what my hair looks like, that I'm trying to put some color in it, and I had to bleach it because I have super dark hair, and it makes my face like so like weird, like almost translucent looking. It's like horrible. But I appreciate you stopping by. Please let me know if you do, if you did the replay, if you watched this live. And again, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm not sure what I'm going to give away yet, but I'm going to do a poll. Speech is very bad for me sometimes too. On my Facebook. So make sure you answer the poll, you follow, and subscribe to my blog. And I will maybe I'll give 2 gifts away. It's Valentine's Day. Hey, what the heck? Oh, but something I want to tell y'all. Y'all know a Damascus rose? Oh my God. Like, this is Damascus rose lotion I ordered just because I wanted to. I love lotions. I constantly have to do my hands because they're dry. Y'all, that smells so good. I like it. Yeah, I just want to lay in it. So, all right. So that's it for today. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, follow, send me a friend request. Hop on over to the blog, which I don't think it was showing it. It's right. No, that's not the right one. That's the one, MonetaHatler.com. Hop on over there, subscribe, check out what I'm posting about, and I hope I see you all on the next video. Bye, guys.